Hello, BookTube. As you know, your March reading schedule is quite crowded. and I thought we'd go over it, especially since there have been a couple of key changes. The biggest key change is that one of the things that you were going to do in March for your reading was an event on this channel, the Ides of Marchathon, in which we were going to go through 4 ancient Roman classics, one each week. And the more I thought about that, the more I realized that that would probably end up being in very large part just yet more of me bellyaching about how inadequate English language translation is for works in Latin or Greek. And this channel has already seen plenty of that. So what I'm going to do is postpone the Ides of Marchathon. We're going to postpone it until 2021, believe it or not. Because the only way to address this problem is to get us all on equal footing. So in 2020, we are going to do a weekly tutorial on the Latin language so that by the end of 2020, you will know how to read it. And then we won't have to worry about a translation at all. I am 100% sure, I haven't looked around, but I am 100% sure that there are good, clean Latin editions of any Roman classic online for free. I am positive that that is true. So we're not going to worry about that. We're not going to worry about Ides of Marchathon. And that leaves us with March Mystery Madness. Elizabeth at Lizzie Faye Books and a whole bunch of other booktubers are hosting that event, including me, in which we concentrate on the joys of mysteries in all their variety in the month of March. I am hoping to do a video a day. I think I promised that last year and didn't quite deliver, but it's the hope dawns new, so we shall try. There'll be a whole bunch of others, and they're doing the whole 9 yards. We are doing the whole 9 yards. There's a Goodreads group. There'll be Twitter sprints and whatnot, all kinds of challenges and themes and whatnot. So that's an established BookTube thing. So that's March Mystery Madness, in which you are to read a new murder mystery every week, new to you, no rereads for March Mystery Madness. And then there's also March of the Mammoths, which is an event that was created by Jason at Old Blues Chapter and Verse, and he's hosting it with Lukash and Big Al Books. In which, in the month of March, we celebrate not just tomes of the type that we all deal with regularly in Tome Topple, another BookTube staple, but megatomes. Not 500 pages, but 800 pages. 800-page books in the month of March, celebrating the particular joy that comes in losing yourself in a book that big, that creates its own environment around you. And so for the month of March, I'm expecting you to read one 800-page or more book each week. I will, in this case, grant you the freedom to pick your own such book. But nevertheless, it's a lot of reading, especially when you add on a murder mystery. And then there's the readathon for this channel. The read-along for this channel. We're doing a read-along every week on this channel until the end of time. And in March, we're doing an emergency mandatory read-along, which means that none of you have a choice. You don't have a choice in any of these things. It's going to be a rough month. But the mandatory read-along for March is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I was getting far too many comments and emails from people saying they've never read it. Grown adults saying they've never read it. So we're going to fix that in March. So that's 15 chapters every week for the month of March. And you might be thinking, okay, well, there's March Mystery Madness. That's a murder mystery every week. Murder mysteries are fun to read, though. And then there's March of the Mammoths. That's going to be hard. That's going to be tough. That's going to command a lot of my reading time. But Steve says so, and what Steve wants must be done. So an 800-page book every week. Keep in mind, I have tips as to how to do this. Number one would be to dump your clingy significant other. They've been nothing but trouble to you from the beginning anyway. Another two would be to dump this whole work thing. It's never pleased you very much. Just stop going. But insist that they keep paying you. But you might think, okay, there's Pride and Prejudice, 15 chapters a week. There's March of the Mammoths, one big mammoth every week. And there's March Mystery Madness, which is a murder mystery every week. But at least there's not the Ides of Marchathon, so that this is actually a break. But no. No, because I'm removing the Ides of Marchathon, but I'm adding 2 more things. There are 2 more things for March that I've only recently discovered, and that we simply must do. And the first one is the BookTube Rereadathon. Which some of you may remember, Michael S. Deutsch did this. He did a version of this, but he's not on BookTube anymore. And Alex Black has taken it over. She has revived it. And it is going to be a year-long thing. of a Rereadathon. And she has co-hosts Abby Mac Reads and Sushi Dragon Master. And each month is going to be a reread with a different kind of challenge, although they could not, she stresses in her director's video, I'll leave a link to it, she stresses that these are only prompts, they are the loosest thing in the world, there is no kind of stricture whatsoever. That just rereading is fine for participating, you don't have to engage in the prompt of any kind. She says that. I say you do. Because this isn't, over here on this channel, this is not a loosey-goosey, everything you feel is right kind of thing. So, she's nice, good cop, and then there's bad cop. So I say that you do have to do a reread in March, and that the reread has to contour to the prompt for March, which is reread a book that was a first-time thing for you. So if you reread, I don't even know, Game of Thrones, or Harry Potter all the time, then that doesn't count. That doesn't count for your March reread for the Rereadathon, the BookTube Rereadathon. What you're going to reread in March is going to be a book that is only your second time at it. So you read it the first time once, and now you're rereading it. And the book that you are rereading for the BookTube Rereadathon cannot be Pride and Prejudice. It cannot be one of the murder mysteries, and it cannot be your Mammoth. These are all separate books. Okay? Don't make me come over there. This is all separate. No cheating allowed. So that's another event, is that you have to pick a book to reread that you've only encountered for the first time. I am going to have a ball with that. In fact, I think I already know what mine is going to be. I think it's going to be City on Fire by Garth Risk Hallberg. I only ended up reading the whole of that from start to finish once. And I think I'd like to do it again. But in my case, it will certainly be something, if it's not City on Fire, it will certainly be something like that. It won't be an older book. It'll be something that I read last year, or the year before that, or year before that, and only read it once, and now it's time to go at it again before I say goodbye to it forever. But what you do is entirely up to you, provided it doesn't encroach on any of these other readathons. And then there's another event in March. Well, the last one that I'm bringing up for now, and March hasn't started yet. So there's a little bit of crossing out and rescheduling on your calendar to do, but there may be more. Stay alert. I will update you. But the next one is it's a Wheel of Time read-along. And it's Jason's Weird Reads, and he's co-hosting it with Carlos Bookbits and the Bookish Ginger. And as you might be able to guess from the title, this is a reread of, do I have it here? Yes, this is a reread of Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time series, from start to finish. Now, I'm not 100% sure that the series really deserves that kind of attention, but my instinct to write it off in that way is one of the things propelling me to join this thing, to join the Wheel of Time read-along, especially since I'll have sympathetic fellow readers along with me, so that if I'm selling this whole thing short, I thought the Wheel of Time got much worse, just asymptotically worse the longer it went. The first book had a few good bits in it. The second book had a couple of good bits in it. The third book had one good bit in it. The fourth book had none. It was just an endless forced march through hysterically purple prose. And they just went on from there, over and over and over again, in longer and longer books, with, I might add, more and more boring covers, until finally Brandon Sanderson started stepping in. And then the books started changing. They started becoming far more tense, far more well orchestrated, until the final book, which was entirely a Brandon Sanderson affair, and which read just like a Brandon Sanderson novel. He didn't try to imitate Jordan's original hysterical purple prose, and that helped the series a lot, and it helped it to end at a strong note. But when I saw the announcement for this Wheel of Time rereadathon, I thought, okay, well, is it possible that you're selling them short? They are beloved by millions of readers. They did kick off the modern, unending, engorged epic fantasy genre, and the whole thing is apparently being adapted for a TV series for Amazon, so I don't know how that's going to be done. But one way or another, they're doing Wheel of Time reread, and it's a read-along that I think will be monthly, and we'll just go for over a year until we're done. So we're starting in March with the The Eye of the World, the first book in the Wheel of Time, and we'll go from there. Now it's a hefty book, so that adds to your reading. So you're doing... I will leave a link to all these things down below so that you can go and pledge your undying fealty. But so we're doing The Eye of the World, the first of Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time books, with a fresh eye, with an open mind, to go at it again. We're doing the BookTube Rereadathon, and the challenge, which is mandatory for the first month, is to reread something that was a first-time book for you. Then we're doing the Pride and Prejudice read-along on this channel, 15 chapters a week, to get this seminal book out of the way and to read it in lively company. And then we're doing March of the Mammoths, which is an 800-page book every week throughout the month of March. And it cannot be any of these others, including Eye of the World. And March Mystery Madness, which is a murder mystery every week. So you have February is a short month, so March is right upon us. It's right around the corner. But you have a few days to massage your personal calendar, make whatever personal sacrifices you need to make. Perhaps it's time to send those children to boarding school. They're just open mouths. They're just needy little creatures. Send them away somewhere. I have many other suggestions, but by now I'm imagining quite a few of you have suggestions for me. So that's your March. It's nice and busy. It's nice and full. I will see if anything's added to it, but I'm hoping not, because this is starting to encroach on me. But we have plenty more bookish stuff to talk about, so I will be back. Thank you, BookTube.